from Hollywood, it's time now for Edmund O'Brien as...
Johnny Dollar.
Is this Mr. Dollar, the insurance investigator?
That's right.
My name is Mason, Carl Mason. I'm an adjuster from Sierra All Risk, a West Coast company.
Yeah?
I need some help. I flew east to meet the claim of a beneficiary, a $40,000 policy. Her name is Jackie Cleaver. Now that I'm here, I can't find her.
You mean she's missing?
I can't find her. I have an address, but it led me up a blind alley. I've got the authority to hire you if you're free.
We can talk about it.
Good. I had correspondence with her just last week. It's strange she should drop out of sight so suddenly.
Edmund O'Brien in a transcribed adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Sierra All Risk Insurance Company, 5th and Hill Streets, Los Angeles, California. The following, like it or not, is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Jackie Cleaver matter. Expense account item 1250, cab fare from my apartment to the Excelsior Hotel, Hartford, where I was directed to room 216 and Mr. Carl Mason.
I'm having drinks sent up. Or is this too early for you, Eastman?
Well, it's a little for me, thanks.
It's the first time I've been in this part of the country for 6 years. One thing you can say for it, it doesn't change, except for the weather. The West changes every day.
So I've heard.
I'm still growing up. I heard a lot of good things about you, Dollar.
No? That's something new.
When I ran into this stone wall looking for this Jackie Cleaver, I called a few of the companies around here. They all suggested you.
Probably to keep me out of their hair. What's the background on the end of town? There was one man in the lobby and one woman behind the desk.
Oh, good evening, mister. What'll it be?
I understand you have a Mrs. Jackie Cleaver staying here.
Jackie Cleaver. You kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. Is she in?
She don't